Okay, here's the tiff, the tough, the stuff. I have my little library over here. That actually makes me so happy. And I just got this new informational book, The Great Regeneration. I made a little origami butterfly for it. And I literally have not read it yet. I haven't cracked it open. But I just don't know. What would I usually start with? I don't need to be second. I feel like there's bugs on me all the time. Okay. It's really cool. We're going to be reading some little snippets of my books. The way I read books is I kind of put them on shuffle, and I just kind of go. I don't really read a book by itself all alone. So we're gonna read from Saints by Giles Morgan first. This is just a book about various saints. Let's see, Saint George. Saint George. Although Saint George ranks amongst the early Christian martyrs, his fame and popularity reached their peak during the Middle Ages. For many, the fact that he is revered as a martyr may come as something of a surprise, since he has been absorbed into folk culture largely through the legend of his battle with the ferocious dragon. His story is a fascinating one, and he has been adopted as a patron saint by many countries, including, most famously, England. According to the earliest martyrologies, St. George was killed for his faith on the 23rd. On 23? They didn't put "erd" in it. St. George was killed for his faith on the 23rd of April in 303 AD at Lydda in Palestine. See? Accounts of his life are variable and unreliable to such an extent that it has been argued that he never actually existed. Some claim that he was a native of Cappadocia, a region in central Turkey, which at that time was part of the Eastern Roman Empire. He was said to have been from a prominent and noble family and had risen through the Roman military to occupy a position of some rank. Other sources suggest that he may have occupied some other position of importance within the Roman Empire, but the consensus seems to be that he was a figure of some social significance. He is generally depicted as a military saint. What is a military saint? It's just saying of the military. Although the earliest known icon of him does not make this explicit. He is depicted wearing robes, but some have argued that armor is visible beneath them. Two different headcanons, really. They'll battle it out till the end. He is said to have been a Christian who refused to renounce his faith, possibly during the persecution of Christians in the reign of the Emperor Dulcitane. The legend of George fighting the dragon was crystallized in the collection of the lives of saints compiled by Jacobus de Voragine. Jacobus de Voragine, called the Golden Legend. According to the Golden Legend, St. George was a native of Cappadocia and a tribune in the Roman army who one day arrived at the city of Salina in the province of Libya. Upon his arrival, he discovered that the city was being terrorized by a pedestalian dragon, whose wrath the people were assuaging by giving it sheep from their flocks. Y'all, were dragons real? I really don't know. And I never will. I feel like it's one of those things, like, it's different than unicorns. Like, I feel like dragons legitimately could be real. They're just like big old lizards, right? Girl, I don't know. Me neither. I don't know. St. George finally slew, is that where I left off? gross. When their sheep were consumed, they decided to offer it to people chosen by a lot. Oh my God. Imagine being chosen for the dragon. Chosen for dragon chum. Imagine being chosen for dragon chum. I can. That would be crazy. Eventually, the king's daughter herself was chosen in this way. Oh my God, that's deep. Although the king pleaded with his people to spare her, they were unrelenting, and she was offered to the dragon. St. George witnessed this and charged the dragon upon his horse, striking it a terrible blow with his lance. He told the princess to throw her girdle around the neck of the defeated dragon, and she led it into the city. That's actually really slay. Dang. Get your girdle out. Okay. St. George finally slew the dragon on condition that inhabitants of the city agreed to be baptized and embraced Christianity. There has been considerable speculation about the origin of this legend, some viewing it as a metaphor for individual Christians standing up to human tyrant or dragon and choosing martyrdom over denying their faith. It has been widely argued that the imagery of St. George as a handsome young warrior defeating an evil monster can be traced to such Greek myths as the stories of Perseus saving Andromeda, or Bellerophon and the Chimera. His feast day is the 23rd of April. That's coming up. When I'm filming this anyway. Y'all don't live in my timeline. Oh, it's a really good read. It's really good. Let's crack open. I really enjoy reading this book. Also, this picture. If that's not me and Bestie, I don't know what is. It's genuinely one of the most cutest, heartwarming books in the world. It's so cute. Okay. Lunch. The meeting of two mischievous people is wonderful. I love that title. Like, be serious. The Dalai Lama's audience. Also, look at this picture. What if I wanted what they had? Whatever. The Dalai Lama's audience room had been transformed into a dining room. At the far end was an ornate golden Buddha encased in a colorful wooden box. The walls were hung with thangkas, brightly painted silk scrolls that depicted images of the Buddha and other Buddhist figures. They were traditionally hung on the walls of monasteries for brief periods of time to inspire meditative practice. They were used to encourage practitioners along the path of enlightenment. The windows were covered with white lace curtains, and the table was set for lunch with baskets of Tibetan flatbread and boxed juice containers. The whole setting was simple, almost like a picnic, and the meal was typical Tibetan food from the Dalai Lama's kitchen. There were noodles and vegetables and momos, the famed Tibetan steamed dumplings. That sounds pretty good. A dumpling right now? The Dalai Lama and Archbishop Tutu sat across from each other. As I sat next to the Dalai Lama, I could feel in his posture and his body language the power of a leader. I remembered how strongly and tenderly he had held my hand the first time we met. His kindness did not in any way diminish his power, a valuable reminder that compassion is a feature of strength, not weakness, a point they would make throughout our conversations. When the Dalai Lama greets you, he takes your hand and then rubs it tenderly, as a grandparent might. He looks into your eyes, feels deeply what you are feeling, and touches his forehead to yours, as photographed. Whatever feeling, elation or anguish, is in your heart and reflected on your face, it is mirrored in his. But then when he meets the next person, those emotions are gone, and he is wholly available for the next encounter and the next moment. Couldn't be me. I'm emotionally drained. Perhaps that is what it means to be fully present, available for each moment and each person we encounter, untethered by the ruminating memories of the past and not lured by the anticipatory worry about the future. The lunch began by returning to the theme of birthdays, aging, and mortality. I went to see a German specialist for knees, the Dalai Lama said. He found my physical condition very good, and then he told me my knees were the problem. He said, "You are not 18 years old, but 80 years old, so nothing much can be done." I really felt that was a great teaching. It is very important to think about impermanence. He reminds me I'm 80 years old. That's wonderful. But my friend, you're even older than me. Are you showing off? The Archbishop said. My own kitchen made this, the Dalai Lama said as he offered a piece of bread to his honored guest. You put your fingers on the bread and think I should eat it? Archbishop responded. I like this one, Archbishop Tutu said, passing over the multi-grain for the white bread, glancing over at his American doctor with a smile. They're so cute. I'll piss off, man. I don't care. I don't care that these are two major religious. They're, oh my god. Oh my god. And I'm not being weird and shipping them. People literally will do that. You don't know how crazy people are. I do, though. I know exactly how crazy people are. But this is just so wholesome. Every time I pick this book up, I'm just like, this is adorable. The media at the airport said, you must be very happy to have Archbishop Tutu visiting. The Dalai Lama said, I told them, yes, indeed, I am very happy. I am receiving one of my very good friends. Firstly, on the human level, he is a very good human being. Secondly, he is a religious leader, a serious practitioner who I respect, who respects different religious traditions. Then thirdly, and most importantly, he is my very, very close friend. You are just flattering me. So then I told them that you often use to describe me as a mischievous person, and so I said I also consider you a mischievous person. The meeting of two mischievous people is wonderful. So very happy reunion. The meeting of two mischievous people is wonderful. So very happy reunion. They both laughed. Now the Archbishop crossed himself and said a prayer before eating his bread. Is it okay? Temperature is okay? The Dalai Lama asked. It did not matter that he was a great spiritual leader, the former head of the Tibetan nation, and the reincarnation of the Bodhisattva of compassion to the devout. At this moment, he was the host, and he was concerned with whether his guests were happy with the meal. Thank you very much, the Archbishop said. Archbishop. Thank you for welcoming us, and thank you for the lunch, and thank you for putting all those people along the road to welcome us. He laughed. The soup is delicious. It's good soup. Sorry. I have never seen Archbishop Tutu miss an opportunity to thank someone or appreciate what he has been given. He will often stop an entire production or an event to acknowledge all that are present. The soup is beautiful, the Archbishop said, fending off the monks who were trying to serve him more food. Everyone else was almost through with their meals, and he was still sipping his soup. It's lovely. Please, please, this is all I'm going to have. I'm going later on to the dessert, the fruit salad. Then seeing the ice cream was now being offered, he laughed. Yes, okay, maybe a little ice cream. He's just like me for real. He was swaying his head. This is going to be one of the most chaotic reads I think I'll ever post. Probably not, because I have more stuff planned, but it's a very chaotic read today. It's a very chaotic read, I must say. Bars. He was swaying his head from side to side, balancing his health on the one side and his sweet tooth on the other. The Archbishop is a big fan of ice cream, especially rum raisin. Interesting. And when he stayed with Rachel and me, his office kindly told us his food preferences. Chicken instead of fish, rum and coke, now given up for those pesky health reasons. and rum raisin ice cream. Rum raisin ice cream was not an easy flavor to find outside of the holidays, but we finally found a gallon container in the deep freezer of an ice cream warehouse. The Archbishop had 3 well-enjoyed bites for one dessert, and we ate the rest of the gallon for months. Such a cute book. This is such a cute book. Also, I'm gonna not have the kid's face, but this is a photograph of a child. I don't know this child, but I found it in this book, and I use it as a bookmark. And sometimes I pretend I have a kid, a long lost child, that I'm desperately searching for. And I keep it in this book to give myself hope. It's very fun. Anyway, let's switch it up and read some poetry. I love this book because it's such a big book, but it also has got so many good, just a variety of poems from different eras, and I marked some of my favorite ones. I think I actually have a video where I've read some poems out of here, but I like to go back to them sometimes and read them, because especially ones by Amy Lowell, because they rock and roll and rock and roll and rock. But I love Amy Lowell. Apology is one of my most favorite poems from her. Let's see. So Apology by Amy Lowell. Be not angry with me that I bear your colors everywhere, all through each crowded street, and meet the wonder light in every eye as I go by. Each plodding wayfarer looks up to gaze, blinded by rainbow haze, the stuff of happiness no less, which wraps me in its glad-hued folds of peacock golds. Can you just imagine that? Glad-hued folds of peacock golds? Bars? But also fucking beautiful. Before my feet the dusty, rough-paved way flushes beneath its gray. My steps fall ringed with light, so bright it seems a myriad suns are strewn about the town. Around me is the sound of steepled bells, and richly perfumed smells hang like wind-forgotten cloud and shroud me from close contact with the world I dwell empearled. You blazon me with jeweled insignia, a flaming nebula, rims in my life, and yet you set the word upon me unconfessed to go unguessed. And let me read that one more time. You blazon me with jeweled insignia, a flaming nebula, rims in my life, and yet you set the word upon me unconfessed to go unguessed. It's so cunty. I love it. I love that poem. I love that poem. I want to... I'm not gonna say that. And then right after is Robert Frost, Amy Lowell, Patterns. Patterns is a very long one. It's got dialogue in it too. I love Apology. Let's see, what other ones do we have? It's also just such a hearty book. I could... Come on, man. Robert Henrik. Which one did I like from Upon Love? Where is that one at? Is that it? The Mad Maid Song. I've never read that one. What's this one? Robert Hendrick to Daisies, Not to Shut So Soon. To Daisies, Not to Shut So Soon. Shut not so soon, the dull-eyed night has not as yet begun to make a seizure on the light, or to seal up the sun. No marigolds yet closed are, no shadows great appear, nor doth the early shepherd star shine like a spangle here. Stay but till my July close, for life begetting I, and let the whole world then dispose itself to live or die. Love brought me to a silent grove. Oh, that's a new one. That's a short ass poem. Oh my god. Upon love. Okay, this is the one I actually marked. Upon love. Love brought me to a silent grove and showed me there a tree where some had hanged themselves for love and gave a twist to me. The sun came out. Let me start over. I'm getting real distracted. I've had caffeine. I don't know if you can tell. They gave me caffeine. This light is crazy. Upon Love by Robert Henrick. Love brought me to a silent grove and showed me there a tree where some had hanged themselves for love and gave a twist to me. The halter was of silk and gold that he reached forth unto me, no otherwise than if he would be dainty things undo me. Wow, my dyslexia is really bad right now. I'm actually a little worried. My dyslexia is not usually this bad. The halter was of silk and gold that he reached forth unto me, no otherwise than if he would by dainty things undo me. I think I need to take a second. Man, if y'all could just like turn around and see all this over here. There's just this majestic bird flying in the distance. It's actually Big Bird. No, but it's so pretty right now. And it's so bright. Like I'm looking at it, but it's probably damaging my eyes. But I'm looking at it. Also, side note, I think people, when I wear these glasses in public, I think people think that these are hearing aids on here. This, it is not. These right here, it is not. It is just Band-Aids to cushion my sensitive ears. And there's like deer running in the distance. Y'all think I'm making it up, and I'm not. It's beautiful. Okay, let's give this poem another try. But this is fighting. Upon love. Love brought me to a silent grove and showed me there a tree where some had hanged themselves for love and gave a twist to me. The halter was of silk and gold that he reached forth unto me, no otherwise than if he would by dainty things undo me. He bade me then that necklace use, and told me to, he maketh a glorious end by such a noose, his death for love that taketh. 'Twas but a dream, but had I been there really alone, my desperate fears and love had seen mine execution. That was pretty. I think the pacing in that last stance was maybe not the way it should be, but I'll practice it and it'll be great. This poem I did not mark. It was just already marked. I don't know who marked it, because this was a book I think we bought a while ago on his blindness. This is John Milton. When I consider how my light is spent, there are half my days in this dark world and wide, and that one talent which is death to hide, lodged with me useless, though my soul more bent to serve therewith my Maker, and present my true account, lest he returning chide, doth God exact day labor, light denied. I fondly ask, but patience to prevent that murmur soon replies, God doth not need either man's work or his own gifts, who best bear his mild yoke, thy serve him best. His state is kingly, thousands at his bidding speed, and posts o'er land and ocean without rest. They also serve who only stand and wait. See, I don't like that one as much because it doesn't really elicit a lot of beautiful imagery. But the pacing is interesting. It's very interesting. Oh, it's very interesting. Okay.